Shall we? So, is this working still? Shall we? Yep. Okay. Double check it once I'm in bed and I'm all set up. So PS2 use the Rayleigh. Yeah, you know what? Let's jump into the demo because it's been a while since I played it. I've never actually tried it full screen before, and again with that frame cap, I don't know what it is. I don't know why Nitro Kart has that. Demo's got it, the main game's got it, and I'm sure the PAL version's got it as well. But yeah, kind of weird. I'm sure there's a way to disable it, but it's just strange that it only affects those three builds. Wow, how basic was it at one point? Wow. What's the audio like? Okay, so it's just retail music, I think. I mean, I didn't hear the start, but I'm sure I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Does anything happen if I leave it idle? I'm just thinking, what do I need to do to get set up fully? Because I obviously want to set this to unlisted. Okay, there is a demo mode. Okay. So it's been about half an hour. Yeah, we'll get ready to change that. Yeah, wow, flat out there is a demo mode. I don't even think you can go on these tracks actually in the demo, which means that they really are just showing off at this point, just show you what's to come type of thing. Nah, it's fine. It's not unheard of. I know Gran Turismo did it a lot, especially in these days. Okay, so we'll have phone there, have my TV remote there, have my keyboard over there, my bowl of empty pasta can stay there, my snacks can go over here, my controller, I can hold that, obviously. Ooh. You know, I don't think I've ever seen 4-player Nitro Kart gameplay in my life. I've seen screenshots of it on like stuff like this, but I've never actually in person seen 4-player Nitro Kart gameplay. Closest I've got is 2-player, maybe 3, but I think that's a big stretch. Two, definitely 2-player, but it's about as good as it's ever gonna get, or was ever gonna get. But okay, yeah. So what's that like? Or was ever gonna get? But okay. Yeah, I can't really hear that. I might turn it up. Again, it really depends on gameplay. But see, problem 2 is I can't tell if I'm hearing my TV or OBS. Anyway, get on with it. Take too long. Okay. Okay. So, okay, so this truck is here too, huh? How about that? Wow. They really had like basic animations of the faces. No, the physics was also different too from memory. So we want to do that. Cool. Okay. It's gonna like do something. Can't skip out of this. There we go. Where's my TV? Right there it is. Because I'll have to juggle around with the volume. Whoa. So you actually have a 2-player demo. That's pretty fucking cool, actually. For reals. Yeah, that's actually pretty freaking cool. How many demos can you think of that you can go, oh yeah, there was... I played this new Crash game demo where me and my buddy played 2-player co-op type of thing. That is so cool. For 2003, that's pretty fucking good. Because I can't, of all the demos I've played, I actually cannot think of a single one that had 2 players. No. See, that's interesting. They've actually got the same selections, or the same type of characters that are unlocked from the get-go. But interesting that, yeah, they don't have the silhouetted unlocked characters. They just don't appear at all. Interesting. Oh, so those two tracks are in the demo. Okay, I'm actually just remembering it wrong. I remember Jungle Boogie being in the demo actually, but I don't recall Out of Time, which is called Out of Mime at one point, which I don't mind, I'll be real, because you've already got Clockwork Wampa, which is already a time-based racetrack. Out of Mime, I think I actually prefer that title, because Out of Mime, you know, Norm is essentially a mimer, and like I said, we've already got like a clock-based level, so. And Out of Mime, obviously, Crash Bandicoot is infamous for having those types of pun-esque titles, so, yeah, we get the gist of it. And having Mime, yeah, I do prefer that, actually. I actually do. Yeah, we'll jump into that. Arcade. Wow, very basic looking pyramids. Okay, I've got to get used to this. I have to hit RB and LB. Wow. Blurry UI as well. Oh, collision. My favorite. So this is very interesting to compare the physics from this build to the final. Because, I mean, this did change a lot, but it also didn't change a lot. It's kind of hard to put into words. Sometimes it really does surprise me how much a demo can change to what it becomes in a final, for better or worse. In this case, definitely for the better, because I don't know, I probably would have been able to get used to this, but the physics are a little bit too stiff for turning, steering. Just slightly. Yeah, just ever so slightly. Looks like those windmills are going faster than retail. I actually really like these ramps because they look more specific to this level compared to the common ones that appear in other levels. I don't know what's different about the clock, but I do like it. I mean, it looks like it's the same model for the most part. I think it's just the shading and or the lighting. Then we've got the voodoo doll scrapped item box power up. Yeah, I was right. So it's just a combination of multiple power ups. Again, it's the equivalent of the shield power up from or 6. Interesting that the mask shield is Aku Aku instead of Velar. Their final lap jingle. I forget if the hourglass above back there was in the final. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, the physics definitely are a lot more stiff. It's hard to get used to this knowing how the original behaves, and that's saying a lot because it has been a while since I have played the original. You could argue that I am using a character that I don't use all too often, but I don't know. I can still feel the stiffness in the physics. I'm kind of on the fence. Well, not on the fence, but yeah, we won. Let's go. But yeah, I'm not really on the fence, but I'm unsure, I guess I should say, with how I feel about the boosts being in the middle right, because it makes sense why they would be there compared to the top middle-ish. Like what we got in retail. But I don't know. And I meant to mention before, they had like the bottom right gauge. I forget what it is, if it's like the boost gauge itself with a charging for another boost, because they've already got that, you know, with what we got in the final. So I don't know if they were just copying it, or maybe they were building off of CTR. So that's interesting. You can't power slide in the water when you're at that speed. I think that's another thing they tweaked. So I'm really glad I selected Entrance because he's a very good character for testing out the physics, I believe, because yeah, Entrance is a very light type of character with his Kart. So it does make for an interesting combination when you put a character like this with a build like this, with its physics being very heavy, because you kind of get borderline the equivalent of what you get in retail, or a strange kind of hybrid on it. Okay, so I don't know, it's hard to tell what that gauge is because it keeps going away and coming back. I don't know what it is. Oh, then there's that power up, I forgot about that. I still don't know what it does. They had a different ice cube. Bit of artwork, interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. So it's a gauge of how long you're in the air for. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, I see. Yeah, I get why they removed that. I think I would have been okay with it if it didn't immediately appear every time you did like a literal just hop and then you immediately land. Because yeah, that would get annoying after a while. It's probably why it did get removed. But yeah, that was the Nitro Kart demo. I don't remember at a time or at a mime being in that, but yeah, interesting. So I'm gonna quickly just play this back on the phone just to see what the levels are doing, what they're like from that little demo experience. Collision, my favorite. This is very interesting to compare the physics from this build to the final, because I mean this did change a lot, but it also didn't change a lot. It's kind of hard to put into words. Sometimes it really does surprise me how much a demo can change to what it becomes. Yeah, I was about to mention Gran Turismo being a good example of that too. Yeah, because if you compare Gran Turismo 3's demo to the retail GT3, holy shit, the physics difference is amazing. Again, like this, it did change for the better, and I really, really wonder if 06 was like that, because I don't think it did, if I'm being honest. From all the footage I've seen, it really doesn't look that different, if at all. Okay, yeah, I think we are actually ready to greenlight this. Because audio levels are good, no delays, no echoes, no bullshit. Only thing I need to do is have a title. So, yeah, Crash Nitro Kart 2003 20th anniversary playthrough. P1. Very good. there we go. Chat ready, so that's good. My TV remote go. Where did my TV remote go? I just got up for a second. It's right now, there you are. That's a lot of shit. What is that? That can't be my fan. That's such a quiet fan. That can't be my fan. That's It'd be very interesting to see these cutscenes remastered in 4K. Or better yet, to get the soundtrack, the unreleased soundtrack of these cutscene tracks, because they really. Yeah, they're very underrated tracks. What's this new timeout lengths? You can now put people in timeout for different lengths, ranging from 10 seconds to 24 hours. Okay. Sometimes I really forget. Well, not forget, but I have to remind myself that, like, it really is Steve Bloom that's doing the voice, because, like, I know it's him in the back of my mind, but I think I just tap into the child part of me when I played this game, hearing his voice, and then eventually discovering that, you know, the voice for him, after getting into Naruto, it was the voice actor who plays Zabuza and Orochimaru. I think that it wasn't so much unbelievable that a voice actor could do that. I think it was more so unbelievable that you could get such a big role between franchises, between Crash Bandicoot and Naruto. At least for my little bear in a cave type of a mind. Because I can't remember when I found that out, but I would have been, I would have been like very, like approaching teens borderline. And I was just like, wait, no way, is that really him? Because I can kind of hear how it could be him, but is it really? Wow. Anyway, yeah, I can't remember the first time I played this, but I think it would have been around 04 or 05-ish. Although that sounds a bit, somewhere between 04 to 06, I think. Because, my first game was Gran Turismo 3, and my second game, I believe, was Crash Bandicoot, the first one, which I played on a PS2. But my first racing game, I think, my first Crash racing game was, I think it was this. I mean, if I played CTR, it would have been like once, twice tops. But even then, I really cannot remember that. But this is the one that I really did grow up on. Because, I mean, I didn't really have CTR back in the day. There's also others that did, but anyway. But for all intents and purposes, this really is CTR2, and, well, I mean, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with that. It was the title card for the game, and I do think in some ways, or a lot of ways, it should have stuck with CTR2. I think with the content the game actually has, I think it did deserve it. I do think it earned it. It did enough to be called a sequel. Or even if it was called, like, Crash Team Racing 2 Nitro Kart, I think we would have gotten the best of both worlds, and it could have worked fine. But, you know, it is what it is. Yep, so quite literally, clean slate of the game save. Starting new game. Yeah, alright. So, because I'm starting so very late... Oh, hang on, are we encountering a buffer? Just saw that on my PC. It seems to be fine. The quality's really great, so... Then again, I'm not racing, but still. And that's 480p, so if I switch it to 1080p, it'll even look better. That's great. But yeah, I'll have to check it out when I'm actually doing a race. But yeah, since I'm starting so late into the game, I am only going to be doing Team Bandicoot. I'll come back on the 28th, the next anniversary date of the game. We'll do Team Cortex then. But yeah, for now, Team Bandicoot, let's go. You know what, let's do my name, or my username this time. Because I haven't really done that before. Not sure how good the volume is, but his music is just, it's very charming, the cutscene music. And if you really pay attention, it actually is surprisingly well detailed and polished. You know, it has tempo changes, it has really good sequencing, a variety of different instruments. Because I was listening as I was putting it together, and I was trying to get rid of the voices for the full soundtrack video I was doing, and I was just thinking, man, there really is a lot of detail that goes unnoticed, because I really don't see many people asking for the cutscene music. They'll just praise the level music and maybe the menu music. Yeah, it is a shame. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love the game, the main game music, but I do find a lot of people, or a lot of like lacking content on the cutscene side of things, as far as the music goes, and it is unfortunate because I mean, it's not just this game. I know that there's that Monkey Island game that I was actually adding to my games. Yeah, that too was that has a really great soundtrack in the cutscenes, but that too also has been unreleased. I don't know why, but I really, really love Aku Aku's design and Uka Uka's design in this game. I just love the way they've been textured and modeled. As far as all the other character models go, I mean, I'm not as upset about it as I think a lot of other people were, but I think it's the voices, if anything, that took me a while to get used to, but it doesn't take away from it. Have a nice life. Yeah, it doesn't take away from the game. I still think this is a really beautiful looking game. Then you've got Velo the Moon. Just to remind you that he's conquered the galaxy and he's on his way to conquer yours. Loading times are still a little long. I mean, they're not bad, but for Steam Deck, that's supposed to be the equivalent of a PC. I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but I don't know. Maybe if we get like a Series X backwards compatibility port, maybe there'll be a bit of a contrast there, if that ever happens. I think I've played this game so much that like I'm a bit too used to these physics, and I guess what I mean by that is if I were to go into CTR or Nitro fueled, despite the physics being very similar and obviously trying to emulate, or in CTR's case it designed those physics, yeah, I don't know how to put it. I'm a bit too used to this game's physics, with its timing, with its control. Yeah, I've spent too much time playing this. I mean, not that it takes away from those games' physics and how they handle the formula, but it's harder for me to play, is what I'm trying to say. And I still enjoy those games, but yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like our 6 for me compared to the adventure games, where because of growing up on 06, I'm a bit too used to its physics, and when I go into a game that has the same formula but has better execution with its physics in the form of SA1 and 2, despite objectively being better, I'm just too used to 06. Also, that loading screen that was on the screen, I'm not used to that because that is an NTSC only loading screen. The PAL loading screen has Cortex. Who else? I forget who else, but I know Cortex was in it. And it's actually a render that I thought was in game, but I mean, even if it is in game, it is reused. The image is reused in another loading screen. I believe for the place that's called the Vault, which is interesting that they can do that. I didn't know that they could do that back in the day, but it makes sense that it is just the same reused image or whatever. So, I don't know how this is going to go as far as the progression. Like I said, the bare minimum, trying to get through Team Bandicoot. But I really did start much later than I was hoping to. And because of that, I might just do the story, or not just the story, but like all the way up to completing or beating Wheeler for the first time. I might not go for everything else to like actually complete the full story. So in order to do that, you need to get all the C and K tokens. You need to... I can't remember what you need to do with the relics, but I don't think you need to platinum all the relics. I think you just need to get all the relics, whether it's in Sapphire or not. I forget if the other games do this, but I really, really, really like how when you boost to reset the gauge, the cart actually tilts in as you boost and reset it. And it only really happens if you're holding down. Because if I'm doing that, I mean, it kind of does it. But I think it's more noticeable when you're drifting into the corner that you're drifting into. I'm not sure why, but for some reason this track I had to re-download. I say re-download. No, I had to look it up because I've had a copy of the soundtrack. I've basically had two copies. I've had like individual track downloads, and then I had one that was the full soundtrack, or supposedly the full soundtrack. But I remember always critiquing it, thinking, well, you say it's the full soundtrack, but it's not. Because there was a lot missing. The podium was missing, for example. The all of the hub world music was missing. The cutscene music was missing. Not that I was expecting that to be done, but still. fucking hyperspace wave was missing. So, yeah, I had my critiques on that, but anyway, the point was that my individual downloads of the music, of the individual tracks, I supposedly had downloaded them all, but somehow I didn't have the podium track. So because of that, I had to chase up the more recent uploads, which I mean worked out well anyway, because while I couldn't get the direct files ripped from the ISO, and instead could only get almost every other track but the podium track, which I still don't get why, I at least did manage to get a pretty good high quality copy of the podium, even if in video form. But yeah, very, very interesting. Kind of sus that all the music is in the files except the podium and one other. I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, very, very, very strange. And I thought maybe I didn't copy everything when I ripped the ISO files. But no, that's not the case. I literally read a comment on a podium video, and someone said they couldn't rip that music, so I'm obviously not the only one that's run into that. Very strange indeed. Makes me wonder how people did manage to get the uploads that are online, if they were just recorded in game or not, or recorded and edited. Because sometimes you do need to do that for games that are virtually unhackable, or well, not so much unhackable, but like they've got no community. There's no modding community to get into the files, to get the direct audio files. Yeah, I can freaking feel it, man. It's freaking hitting me big time now. Yeah, if we can get up to Vila and get that done, my mission will be accomplished. Because yeah, I can feel it. Feels harder to stay awake these days. I don't know why. Maybe I've just been pushing it one too many times recently. Oh, that's interesting. So it does the tilt thing even when you're not holding down a direction. Yeah, I really like that a lot, because I can understand if others don't like it, but I think for me it provides potential for well, not potential, but like strategy, I guess you could say. Because you have to really think about when you boost, where you boost, and how you're going to approach it. Because, or how you're going to approach a corner while drifting. because with that little quirk, it can make you approach the corner differently, for better or worse. I remember it always freaking me out when we actually see Wheeler outside of the hologram, because he has so much more rich color and texture compared to how we see him here. Like, his greens are like more light, whereas when we see him in game, they really pop, you know? Compared to this green. Which I guess was the point, it's supposed to be a hologram. I love the effects, how they've done like it's not really a sky, but yeah, like back there, it's like clouds almost, or it's like some misty particle effect going on, and it just looks really cool. I just love how many pre-rendered cutscenes they made for this game. Of course, it would have been amazing if we got more, if we got like or just in general more content in the game. If we got more campaigns, I would have fucking loved to have got an entranced team and Team Oxide type of thing. See their perspectives going into the story. I mean, that really would have warranted the title CTR2 in a lot of ways, I think, because if you're going to have a Team Oxide, I think it would be sound to have it to have it all connected. Because being CTR2, you'd want to know why Oxide is working for Wheeler, and kind of exploring how he gets put under mind control and how he deals with that, either before or after the events of the main story for Team Bandicoot and Cortex. That would have been really, really great to explore. And it was something that I was kind of hoping maybe Nitro Fuel could have looked into, since it was kind of doing a sort of remaster. And I love too that when you boost on the top part of the gauge, the highest part of the gauge, the longer you boost for. Whereas the shorter it is, the shorter the boost. I mean it's such a basic concept and so easy to remember, but yet, I mean, I don't know, I remember not knowing that for the longest time, and eventually when I learned it, I was like, holy crap, it's like, I don't know. Discovering like a language within a language. If it's not clear because of how slow I am, yeah, it really is. tiredness is really kicking in. And so soon after starting, I mean, that's what I get for taking so long. I forgot about this, but this little duder cheers for Team Bandicoot. I thought he cheered for the Cortex team as well, but he doesn't. And it's I mean, that's nice. It makes sense that, you know, nah, screw those Cortexes and their plans and evilness. And like the debris floating in the background there, dude. These cutscenes are so freaking underrated and underappreciated. The sound design, the clapping of the. Now they're not clapping. They've changed the animation per scene. Like, and the fucking animated flag in the background. And, oh my god, this fucking reeks detail, and it's not talked about enough. Oh god damn, not now. Like I said, I just need to make it to beaten Wheeler, and then I can say mission accomplished for now, at least. So sore. Freaking dingadile. Mate. What's the playback doing? I've still got a buffer. Actually, how does it look on races? I still haven't checked that out. Yeah, it looks fucking great idle, but what does it actually look like on the move? There you go. That looks great. That is so much better compared to 2 streams ago. And this is a freaking racing game too, so that's saying a lot. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Cool. I think we're doing good. Whoa. Holy shit. Holy shit. Acting career's no jerk. You really can buy your own house. Even for fan films. Lower budget films even. Wow. That's surprising. Okay, not get distracted. Okay. I'm still not used to RB and LB. Because if it's not clear, I did grow up on this on the OG Xbox. So because of which I'm hoping more than anything to be able to use the likes of
RT and LT. But yeah. I mean, I know I do have the ability to swap inputs. The problem though is that in my case for hitting the likes of LB, it also does the equivalent of LT, which does that, resetting the camera, or not resetting, looking back, rear view style. See, that's exactly what I was talking about before, how the little jolt that the kart does when you do your boost, how that steers your kart into the direction you are steering, that can be used as a strategy for when and how and where you do your boost, for what corner, when and how you're approaching it. This corner right here, I didn't do it then, I didn't drift, but I had a really bad setup for it. But the last lap specifically was a really good example, because I normally would not have been able to drift around that area. Most people, if not all people, don't do that. They don't drift there because they know if they do, they will crash into the wall, which is why 9 times out of 10, most people are just going to steer around that. So I always wondered how people approach that, because I always tried to drift around that corner, and I could never figure it out until I saw other people doing something different to what I was doing. But even then, I still drift around there when I can, unless I know I'm going to crash if I do. But the point I'm trying to make is that with a very precise setup going into that corner, you can refresh the boost or the gauge with a boost, and by boosting it will nudge your kart a little bit in the direction of the jump ramps, and because of which you can bypass hitting and colliding with the wall, with the barrier. It's, just missing it, which is really cool when you perform it. I think Crunch kind of reminds me these days of Killer Bee, minus the wrapping. I'm not sure if they ever would do that with Crunch, give him like a wrapping type of personality. I wouldn't think so. I mean, actually, you know what? No, I don't know. Normally I'd say no, but given what they did to Toner in recent games, yeah, no, they could very well go a route like that in the future. Then again, I say that, the likes of Killer Bee was made
around the early 2000s, kind of close to the 2010s. And back then, in those days, rap was pretty big. It was the thing to be talking about, and to be covering if you're a pop star or an artist. I mean, not that it's uncommon now, but it's not. You can tell that it's changed the atmosphere, not in a good or bad way, but it's just it's not talked about as much anymore. Better or worse. Leave that to you to decide. Now there's a shortcut here. I'm only going to try it once, but you can get some pretty crafty gravity results if you jump there, and you can land all the way to the flag at the start. You can pretty much land here where these pillars are and trigger the lap, and it is actually faster to do, but it's very I would say it's very difficult to do, but it's very time consuming if you fail. Rest in peace, no one will. Dude will always be Aku Walker in my head canon. Such a very distinct and very soft and warm voice. Really fills in the shoes for that wise mental type of figure quite well. Quite well indeed. Yeah, I said before, going through this game as Team Oxide, Team Tranced, with their characters, with their team, this would have been so good. Again, it's kind of hard to imagine what the cutscenes would have been like and how the story would have been like with its progression. I mean, the formula would have been the same for the most part. You still have your basic, Vila abducts you with his sunlight, and you do his bidding, otherwise the Earth is going to be destroyed or whatever. But the core difference with the story is that they get brainwashed earlier on in the story, before Team Bandicoot and Cortex get involved, which is kind of saying a lot, since, Pura is on the team, on the sidelines. Polar also is on the team. But the point is that people that would normally be on Team Bandicoot have been brainwashed. Same could be said for Cortex characters, and because of which it's a bit strange seeing them where they are. Because we find out later on that it is brainwashing, but we don't see it, we don't. Most of all, we see that they are already under the effects of it, which means that they've been under it for a while. They were nabbed earlier on, before the story even began. And I don't know, that to me is kind of a big deal, that we don't see that. You can kind of do the math and figure it out, but still,
it's very interesting to note, to get the timeline straight. Oh wow, what a waste of a boost. Oh man, it's really affecting me. I mean, I'll make it, but I don't want to rush through it at the same time. Because I do want to take my time. But within reason, you know, I don't want to dilly-dally. I've said it a few times now, but we just... no pressure, that's the main thing. Just to have a nice, chill, low-key stream. Especially in a time like now where I'm so tired. I kind of need it. Because my voice isn't really that tired. And that's for a couple of reasons, mainly because I haven't really been doing too much commentary today. I haven't really been speaking all too much today too. But more than that, because I've been doing more work in silence, I'm more tired, especially in the eyes, than I am with my voice, so make it much blue. I love the way he just kind of pops in and is like, "You now have 6 trophies, woo." Engineered to always move. And he's got the water in his little helmet thing. The freaking detail. He needs to stay hydrated, otherwise he won't adapt. Is that enough? I need to get moving. Soon, Ash. Soon. Not soon. Now! Excellent. I just love the chemistry. They both have a respect for each other. They both can't tolerate each other, but they both respect each other at the same time. I want to see like some backstory for all the champions. I want to see how they got to where they are, how they got to be working like under Velo, because obviously the same scenario happened for them. They were abducted, taken to the Colosseum. They had to go up against some world champions. They either beat them or didn't, and they had to basically sell their soul to Velo and do his bidding and do races if they would approach any other company, if you will, or entertainments, as he would call it, for his subjects. I really like how Crash looks in this. I don't even know what this is. Is this a screenshot? Because it doesn't really look in game, like at all. But that's why it's so hard to figure out, when half the time it looks like it's concept art, and the other half of the time it does look like in game
or pre-rendered shots. And that's what I mean. It's tricky to pinpoint it. Oh, that's right. That's frozen this time. And I don't know what it is with that particular ramp, but the texture is always glitched out for that one consistently. It's so bizarre. This is such a great soundtrack. Just oh wow. Like, they got everything. I think the harp is, for me, the best part of this track. But I remember hearing the extended soundtrack on the OST version for the first time and just thinking, holy crap, there is so much more that you don't hear in the retail soundtrack. But when you hear it all isolated, you just grow to appreciate it and respect it that much more. And I wish more soundtracks would do that. 06 kind of does it, not in a grand way, but it does have intros and outros to music that in the retail game it might not have. Oh god, it's really affecting me. Damn it. Maybe I should have some snacks. Maybe that'll wake me up. Such a cool design. The 10 Womp upgrade make them follow you. I wish those upgrades actually appeared in the main games. I don't know how that would work or look. I realize it's more of a velo upgrade, but still. You lost, but it... I don't care! No, don't show me this. I'm gonna follow him. I hacked his brain and put him to sleep. I forgot about that. Or better yet, I didn't know what that meant when I was a kid. I hacked his brain. What? I still don't really get what that means. They say he was engineered to always move. What does that mean? He's a cyborg? Is that like our first like Von Clutch type of character? Because he's obviously supposed to be like a shark fishman type of thing, but then he's got the headgear which allows him to adapt outside the water, I guess. But when he says that he's engineered to always move, that's where I'm like, okay, and Kirker can hack his brain. What is this? What's going on? You know, people tend to not really notice it, but there really is a lot of detail, a bit of lore behind a lot of this. Rich backstories. A lot more rich than people think. always admired the visuals for this area. Just the skybox. How it looks like a I don't know. Something fancy. How do I do this thing? Because I know you can get some pretty crafty gravity glitches. Do you do it through here? No, that's not right. Might be a PAL thing. It's alright. We're not doing too bad. We're halfway. Just gotta do the equivalent of that. Get through this, then Techne. And then we can battle Veeler, and then my job's done for the day. It's a short stream for sure, but I mean, what can I say, man? I'm fucking wrecked. I could drop at any point if I needed to. And that's another thing, these renders, yeah, they're also different per region. Most people are familiar with them, but me, not so much. This engine's different. I think oxide's different. I always screw that up. And you need speed too, for the most part, to get that to work. Strange though, because I don't really see a whole lot of speedrunners using that. Maybe because of how risky it is? I don't know. Then again, it's been a while since I've seen speedrun of this game. I wouldn't mind checking in on the world record. So I like to drop in every once in a while in the videos to see what's done, what's not done. So I remember sharing the Hyperspaceway shortcut I found a few years ago, but I don't think that's been adapted into the runs, but that could just be because of how difficult it is. Come on. You know you want to. There you go. You see, the problem is with that, with the amount of times it takes to get it to work, by the time you get it, they're already behind you. Renders the first shortcut kind of useless. I was afraid I was going to do that. And I could be wrong, but I feel like you can jump around there. Because I know I've gotten trapped there in the middle of the collision. So, yeah. Yeah, it's pathetic. Because if you can get it, like, dead in the center, that is ideal. You usually do get it like that. Whoa! Of course. The one time I need you to not screw up, you decide to screw it up. And when you work, you come last. Yee. It's always the way, isn't it? The double-edged sword that is this track shortcuts. Something that's both a blessing and a curse. Bruh. I don't like how it does that, and I'm not really sure how it works. If it's a speed thing. There you go. It almost seems to be random, but I know it's not. I think it's a speed thing and a direction thing. Could have lined myself up much better. That's pathetic. There you go. What? Yeah, it's really weird how that works, but you know, it does make me curious how much more advertise would make it all look together. Because, yeah, I don't think we've ever seen a Tez of this game. For fuck's sake. There you go. I mean, the collision's a bit funky, that's all. And I gotta do that again. Oh dear. That's right. I do like the truck. I don't know if it's me, but Zam looks so different there in the back. Line looks like a frog. That's another thing, it would be nice to get more context on those characters. We don't really get much about them. They just have, you know, a bit of screen time, more play time than screen time. And really, you don't actually get anything about them in the stories. I don't even think they have dialogue in the story cutscenes. They get more character development, or get more context on their characters through the dialogue and gameplay.
fucking hate the fact that there's such a big box of collision there for the chains. It's just, it kills so many attempts. Really love the music for this one too. Just fits the atmosphere so well. Like they literally have like these clockwork type of percussive sound for the drums. The rubber banding for the frickin' AI is just insane. Especially if your teammate, that's just so overkill. I get it, that's kind of the point, but it just, wow. It feels unrealistic, I think. Mainly because of how all the other AI is not keeping up with us. Trying to remember how to trigger the multiple items. Oh no. So sensitive. Yeah, I'm really not used to her physics. I mean, I am, but I'm just, I don't know, obviously,
play as these type of light kart type of characters. Right. Oh, and again, even better. So how do I trigger this? There we go. It's a shame you could really see the influence of 2070 in this era, even as far back as this game. Just with dialogue choices alone. It's hard to play these old games and not hear Jimmy Neutron when Kirker speaks. 'Cause, I did kind of grow up on Jimmy Neutron as well. Aside from some like very minor visual glitches, the game does play pretty freaking well. Just randomly get sunglasses out of nowhere. And I love that Wheeler laughs at first. And then he cracks it at him. No! You will race today! Now do it! You are racing today. And then this whole gimmick. It's very Sakon and Ukon-esque. I don't want to hear it. Again, it's like, it implies that he doesn't wear that normally, which means that he looks like something else, which means there's a bit of depth there, which means a bit of lore, low-key. I don't know, just... There's some rich character development, I'm telling you. It's minor, but it's those minor differences, or not differences, but you know what I mean. It's the minor changes or the minor details that make the difference. hell? I come back and I don't even know what I was watching. How did that happen? What just happened? I was idle. Oh, wow. That's so cool. That's so cool. What? How does that even happen though? Can that happen on hardware? Wow. Yeah, I can see her moving. Ever so slightly, and then that's obviously enough to do that. Oh no. Yeah, I wonder if that can happen on hardware. It wouldn't surprise me if it can happen, because the collision is very, I don't want to say unpolished, but it is a bit glitchy. Good examples, Baron, in deep sea driving. That whole lap glitch you can do is just on account of really fucking weird and glitchy collision. I gotta have something. I'm getting hunger pain, man. Fucking ridiculous. I've had like 3 meals. Whoa. Okay, chill. You know, I didn't know this till recently, but Norm actually does have a voice clip in this game, and I think it actually is used, but it just doesn't play all too often because Big Norm is the one that's always speaking, because you know he's the one that's like not a mime. And I like that he says, you know, the deal was race in return for me wearing this dumb getup. It just, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, or yeah, just there's something about that line that it basically tells you that that's not his thing he does, you know. It's not just, ooh, we're perfect brothers type of thing. No, there's something more. So in that light, they're not like a perfect Sakon Ukon type of twin brother type of thing. Damn. I kind of wish these custom power-ups in this game kind of returned in later games somehow. I don't know how that would work, but yeah. But adapting racing game power-ups into the main games. Because I mean, come on, like it makes sense, right? If the likes of the TNT can turn into a, you know, a power up in this, why can't the reverse be done? That was fun. Kinda got it. I messed up only like majorly once.
He's reading. What is that supposed to be, I wonder? I like this scene a lot too. Well, do you make creatine too? Hey, come over here and make noise. He's a real character, you know. He's like, he could be any one of us. The uh-oh. Yeah, if it's not clear, I fucking love the boss characters in this game. Both the designs, the personalities, the voices. Fucking perfect. I really should jump into CTR just to play it once. Especially to AB it to this. Because while I'm sure I'm probably just going to be biased, nostalgic and all. Nostalgia overload with this. Still would be interesting to see how they do stuff like the bosses. Yeah, I like when Big Norm says at the start, besides, they don't stand a chance. He's basically, he's not underestimating them, he's overestimating them. Like themselves, the brothers. And I like to think that they do that because Velo's basically seen their potential and they basically declared them the world's best, or galaxy's best racers. Yeah, again, it'd be very interesting to see or hear of like the real like lore behind this this story, this universe. How Velo got to who and what he was, why he felt like such of an outcast to resort to build himself a robot and to basically use that to be viewed as a leader or a ruler or a god, or I guess in literal terms an emperor. Did he use it to kind of like, I mean, because this game is very obviously story-wise inspired by Wizard of Oz. Was it supposed to be like a, you know, I am the most powerful of them all. You will listen to me and only me. You will follow no one else. I am hereby emperor. Was it a type of deal like that where he was just, I am he type of thing. You will listen to me. Yeah, I don't know, just Because, I mean, I remember thinking these thoughts, wondering these things when I was growing up with this. These were the questions in my mind. And I don't know, that it would get me to ask these questions, I think, is a testament to its, in my opinion anyway, underrated story. I mean, it's inspired me to have a similar story treatment. Has a type of Wizard of Oz, again, type of feel to the formula of, you know, going to a location that's, you know, we're not here anymore, insert location, plunged into a fantasy world that's completely different to what they're used to, and having to deal with that and overcome the obstacles in their way to move on. I've even got like a concept for like a Colosseum kind of. I mean, it was inspired by this, so this did have an impact on my childhood, to say at the least. I really should get into speedrunning this. It doesn't look too complicated to get into. For the most part, anyway. But it also depends. If I have to hook up my OG Xbox or PS2 to speedrun it, probably a good chance I'm not going to get into it. And there's nothing against the consoles. I actually really love them. They're my favorite consoles, as a matter of fact. It's just too much of a hassle for me to connect everything. In fact, I don't even think I've got the ability to plug in the likes of a PS2 or an OG Xbox into my current TV, because it doesn't take component leads. So I'd have to put it through some kind of a splitter or a transmitter, converter type of thing. And I don't think... I know I did have a converter, I might still have it, but even then, forget if I can actually output that properly. Yeah, it's just an awkward setup. I feel more confident going into something that where it's backwards compatible. Even if that does mean ending up waiting a bit longer. Though that said, it would be very unfortunate for me if the PS5 or PS6 even declared this backwards compatible before Xbox. Because again, I do like my triggers for hopping and drifting. I like that you get to choose. See, this is very Wizard of Oz inspired, Yellow Brick Road type of thing. I don't know if that's just me noticing that, but picking up on that. I don't even know if that was intentional. I mean, really, because I mean, yes, they do have like the story. They had the Kansas line, but then they have this, and I really don't know if that was an intentional model or not. Because I mean, it's not really supposed to be brick, but I don't know. I just can't help but notice it. Have I mentioned the sound design is fucking beautiful? I mean, this level's a fucking great example of the sound design. This and the next track, its sound design is just so rich, full of original sounds and just, oh, beautiful. I've never heard another game's sound design so crisp and pop the way this does. The closest I think a game has come to it would be, I think, maybe Hot Wheels World Race, but really aside from that, eh. It's really the specific sounds itself. They're just so original sounding, and there's so many original sounds as well. I mean, heck, I've even used them in the freaking soundtrack that I've made. They do make for great atmospheric sounds, or samples even. Especially the patty types. I think most people's biggest flaw with this game, though, and I think including my biggest flaw with this game, is the fact that, yeah, you really do not get the ability to unlock bosses upon defeating them. That's such a fuck moment for me, because it's like, I don't view this as a rushed game. On the contrary, it might be lacking in content, but it still does feel like a very polished game, even if it could have had more content. Yeah, I remember feeling pretty freaking gut hurt about not being able to unlock the likes of Robot Dealer and all the bosses. The mini ones, like we're about to go up against them in the next two races, but yeah, in this world, Techni, I guess, yeah, in the last world too, Phenomena with Big Norm, and in the final race, in the final boss with Veeler, you get they have like basically these minion type of figures. With Norm, you've got Big Norm and Normal Norm. So I mean, that's two opponents. They still should have been unlockable. But in this case, for Techni and the final one, with like the crowd life forms, same species as Veeler, the real Veeler. Yeah, I can understand those characters not being implemented if they weren't to be, but the others were. Because, I mean, for Techni's case, Geary's sidekicks are basically just these train things that you only see as obstacles in the last race we were in. Trains, they're not even characters, you know? They're just there to boost the manpower by one. Same for Veeler. getting the crowd. I mean, they're a bit more significant, but my point was that I could kind of get by them not being implemented to the game, as much as I would have still loved to have had that variety. But the bosses, man, that was so essential to implement, to have them in the game, and the fact that they're not there is just very unfortunate. It's a bit of a missed opportunity. But at the same time, it also makes it that much more incredible that modders have put it into the game. All of it, including the five sidekicks that you should also, in my opinion anyway, should have been able to play as. And I mean, clearly, again, I'm not the only one who thought this. If mods are able to do it, modders are wanting to do it as well. And that's the thing too, they've done it, you know. I recorded my playthrough and all, and that's actually one of the videos that's uploading at the moment. I'm just trying to think, would I be able to would I be able to speedrun this game on a Steam Deck? Would that be allowed, or are emulator runs just banned? I'll have to look more into it. Where did you come from? That's not how rubber banding works. Where did you come from? Oh no! That was so close. I can't believe that actually worked. Yeah, the fact that you can unlock the bosses in the GBA version of the game too just hurts that much more. But you know what though, I'll admit, if we got the same treatment that was applied to the GBA version, I think I'd be just as disappointed, if not more, because they basically have the bosses in the game, but they don't have them in their beautiful and original looking carts. They just have them in the whoa. Why didn't I turn? I might have actually fucking made that. I've been trying to test that shortcut out for ages now. And the one time I actually get a good launch, it doesn't think to turn right. God damn it. Yeah, I'm holding out hope for that shortcut one of these days. The one time this decides to mess up. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, all the bosses in the GBA version, they're essentially in one of those yellow carts, the same type that Oxide is in. Zem and Zamdo were as well. Yeah, it really is just a lack of content that this game kind of suffers from. But you know what? I'd rather that be a flaw than anything else. Because that's the same kind of issue that I have with my favorite racing game of all time, Gran Turismo 3. I love that to pieces, but my biggest issue with it is that it didn't have enough content. There should have been more. But I wouldn't change it for the sake of swapping out quality. Sweet. how ahead of its time this character was. Because this is basically like the whole gimmick of the character is that it's supposed to be a Taz the character essentially. And in that light, yeah, it was ahead of its time. Just a shame that the AI wasn't that difficult to beat. Yeah, I remember my first reaction to seeing the character design. I was initially expecting like a real like menacing voice to come out, and I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't think of any other robot characters that would have given me a reason to assume that, because I hadn't seen Terminator. I didn't even know Metal Sonic existed at this point. I mean, for that matter, I hadn't even played Earth 6, so I didn't even know what Sonic the Hedgehog was at this point. To believe. And Mario, I mean, I think I might have known of Mario. Actually, no, I wouldn't have. Because if this was pre-Earth 6... Because even in Earth 6, the first time I learned of Mario's existence was like around later 6 or later 7-ish. But I think it was, yeah, later 6. So how about that? It would have been, I would have learned of Mario before I learned of Sonic by that. Wow. That's a very interesting collision glitch there. I've encountered that a few times in the past. Again, this game, it doesn't happen too often, but fuck me, when collision glitches happen in this game, oh goodness gracious me, they do happen. And they make sure you remember it. He's actually keeping up. Unless my map is deceiving me. That's another power up UI glitch. I like that when you do the boss tracks, they essentially freeze anything that would normally be moving. It's a nice way to go into the track like a track normally should be. Same thing with what they did with the deep sea driving and all those propellers being frozen. Yeah, if we did get bosses in this game, kind of like with what mods have done, I must admit, I think I'd still not be entirely satisfied because, you know, I've played the mods and I fucking love them. But we're actually about to see why I do have a little bit of an issue with the continuity of a design change, if you will, which really could have all been solved with the account of, again, more content, more variety. Because this game, in my opinion, could have used different liveries for karts. Would have been, I mean, you know, Nitro Fuel did it. Would have been nice to see all the Bandicoot karts in red or green or yellow. And same with the all the other cards. You know, the red Cortex cards, the yellow and green Velar cards, and especially for the purple boss cards as well. Mainly for boss cards. That's really where this all started in my mind. You see, such a drastic change. We go from quite literally the Emperor Palpatine like hologram to I'm here in the flesh. Welcome, Skywalker type of thing. Me. Well, we finally made it. It's a good length for a game, honestly. It's not too long, it's not too short, and that's just the normal story. And I remember being on that progression for many, many years. Because I thought that was the end of the game. I didn't know there was more. I mean, it makes sense, right? You know, you're going to stay there and complete the mini missions, but there's nothing more to it after that. If anything, that might be a bit more of a believable ending for the likes of the Cortex ending. Anyway, yeah, so this is what I was talking about with the cohesiveness or the consistency of the designs of the karts. They've got blue karts, that's consistent. This, however, is not. We have a yellow boss kart and the red portals, the red little dish things that the AI, the minions are on. I forget actually if they are red or not. They might be purple. But they also might be red. I can't remember. I don't recall them being red though. That's the weird. Not that red in the cutscenes anyway. But then if we look here, yeah, there you go. So blue and yellow. Boss Velar is in a purple boss cart now, not a yellow. And I remember noticing that when I was younger, and I was like, "What? That can't work. That's illegal. You can't do that." Let's see if I can get this to work. Because this is a really cool shortcut if I can get it to work. I found it a few years ago. Back when I was still living in the old house. Oh shit, did I hit exit? You stupid! That was a joke. Perhaps next time you would actually challenge me. I never understood that for the longest time. The context of that line. Like, no, that was a joke. I wasn't actually serious. You're not actually gonna battle me. I was just joking. You're not worthy of battling me yet.
I didn't get if it was supposed to be like that or what I think it is now. I was like, oh, that was a jerk. You guys are pathetic. Perhaps next time you'll actually stand a chance. That is such a... Oh, who thought of that, man? That's such a fucking badass choice. To have your central hub world turn into an epic track. Who thought of that? I mean, fuck, man, that is... Oh. And if you're like me, who actually spent a fair amount of time in the Citadel, just running around, drifting, doing nothing, not even boosting, because I didn't even know how to power slide and boost properly. I mean, yeah, you really feel that transformation when you get to this part in the game. I just want to get it once, that's all. I keep going. What do I keep going up? What do I keep going up? I don't really know if it's character specific. I don't think so. I think you just need to have a really good angle. And height. I did it again. There's surprisingly a very quick delay in the pause, but I don't really care how quick it is. I mean, I'm glad it's quick, but a quick delay is still a delay. Too early. Oh! Did I do it? I did it! I did the shortcut in first try. Wow, first try, actually bouncing off the rail anyway. But yeah, that's the shortcut. And that's a shortcut fail. So fun fact, this track was actually supposed to have a map, but I think it's actually in the files too, they just didn't program it properly. I mean, I don't blame them for not programming it, because I mean, fuck. To tell the game, yeah, this little red dot, yeah, go here and then go here. It's such a complicated layout like this. Yeah, I don't blame them. See if I can get this shortcut. I'm not really too familiar with it, because it is an NTSC thing, so it doesn't actually apply to me with my version of the game. But yeah, that's a pretty fucking good time for the most part. Well, I say that I did fuck up that one shortcut, but yeah, some pretty nifty shortcuts in that one lap. Here we go. You. So yeah, basically they get infinite amounts of those electrical power-ups. And apparently if they run into it, they don't take damage, they actually just absorb it. I don't know if that means they just get the ability to use it again. But yeah, they flat out do not take damage if they run into it. Here we go. Too early. Yeah, I'm not really used to that yet. It's like you really have to turn at the proper moment. I'm not getting high enough. Oh shit, he was right there. Fuck. Dude, he like flat out caught up in no time at all. I could have gone for it, but I would have been too far back. No, I probably could have caught up, but still. Yeah. This is where things get complicated. There we go. That ought to buy us some time. I wish you could throw certain power-ups back. I mean, I say that you can't throw a cannonball behind you. But I wish you could do that with more. I wish you could like get like the missile and kind of launch that backwards. Like even the TNTs, it'd be nice to be able to chuck that, you know, forward, kind of like what you can do with chucking the ice cubes forward. Yeah, no, that's not worth that. Yeah, I think the fastest lap I've done is somewhere around like 109 to like 106-ish. So it wasn't actually that fast that first lap, but like I said, I did screw up on the ramp shortcut, but oh well. But that's the game. Well, that's the main story. Minus the extended ending, but like I said, you do have to put in a bit more time. Actually, how are we going for time? Yeah. I could keep on going, but I am still tired. Yeah, they're still in their red things. And what was it again? It was like yellow, blue, yellow, purple. Again with those texture changes. Yeah, it's fucking a real shit, man. I have made literal texture edits in Photoshop going back a few years ago to create the boss Kart with that pre-rendered cutscene look. I should see if I can try to do the same with the little portal things that those minions are standing on. Nice. Yeah, I like the whole gimmick of, you know, you're brought here, you have to go through all these four worlds of my choosing, and if you get by, you earn a chance to face me, the main leader, and become one of us type of thing. That's essentially the gimmick. And by that, it sounds as though when he says of my choosing, it's like the way he phrases that to me anyway almost implies that there's more, you know, it's my, you know, for choosing. for these planets, these worlds that you're visiting. But I could swap them out with anything else if I want. I don't know. That's probably just me, but yeah, just the way he phrases it, it just I can't help but think, oh shit. So does that mean there's more under his belt? Which I mean, it kind of is true because I mean, in order for all the bosses to have gotten where they were, like I said before, they would have had to have gone through the same trials where they were taken from their world and they had to go through their sets of 4 world leaders type of thing. So the idea that like they are the Bandicoots or the Cortexes, you know, world champion. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that there'd be a lot more for those that were the world champions here. Anyway, I wonder if Spucky was supposed to have a bigger role, because it's such an odd bit of dialogue. Because they make it sound like it's supposed to be some kind of alive, I don't know, something. Maybe it's supposed to be, because the design low-key looks a little similar to the things that the minions ride on. I don't know, just, it's a bit strange. So yeah, I gotta get 3 3, what do you call them, relics, 3 tokens, and I guess 1 extra token for the extra stage, the extra track. But yeah, I think I will do that when I return, so that way I do have a bit of Crash content to do still when I come back before hopping in and doing all of Cortex. Oh yes, and of course the gems as well. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable place to end off for now. No, I've even if a little brief, I always enjoy playing this game, going through the story. So yeah, I think that will do for now. Yeah, like I said, the 28th, I should be back with this. But as far as the next stream goes, yeah, 14th, I'll be back with her 6. We'll jump in on this. On the, I think, yeah, we'll give the PS3 emulator a crack and see just how much of the game we can beat. And depending on how we go for time, might try out the latest patch for PS6. Should hopefully be good. I mean, like I said, I'll probably test more of the test stage related stuff more than anything. Yeah. And then the 18th, I'll be doing Unleashed. I'll be doing the Broken Bond. And then the following day, which will be the 18th for Immersed, for time zones, like America and stuff, I'll do Unleashed then, so it will be the anniversary for you guys, but it won't be for me. That way I can cover both games around the same time, so that should be good. And then finally, 28th, yeah, I'll be back with this, so got a plan, should be good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this. There's a lot of stuff planned, but hopefully we'll get through it all on time, especially with like the soundtrack related stuff. Still gotta post those Nitro Kart videos today. Hopefully they're coming along nicely. But yeah, they didn't interrupt the stream, so that's good. I'm glad it's kind of improved. I'm not sure if that's because I'm streaming on PC compared to before. I used to stream on the iMac while uploading on the iMac, but anyway. Yeah, that will be all for now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and till next time, have a good one, stay safe, and I'm out for now.